Jillian Riley. I'm running for Durham Soil and Water Conservation District. I'm out here with Durham bee farmer Kamal Bell at Sankofa Farms. And today we're going to talk about bees, everything you need to know to get started, how important they are for our environment, and also how the soil and water team works with farmers in our community. So let's have some fun. So your youth program, how did that all go?
Well, I was a teacher for a few of them at Lowe's Grove Middle School, and I was starting a garden. And I saw how the garden helped the students stay on track in school, and they would improve their behavior even outside of being in my class. So I asked the principal at the time, could we start a summer academy to keep them on track, so that way they would have support going into the next school year. She didn't like the idea, so we ended up moving the program out here, because at that same time, this is 2016, we acquired the farm. Once I figured out that they would be willing to still come out here, they've stuck with it, and now they're able to literally run the farm. And literally right now, you hear somebody weed eating, the other students are getting ready to plant. They'll be in the beehives later. They're literally able to take ownership of the farm and grow with it.
Part of the environment of our growing and the sustainability of growing is so important for literally everything we do, like our water sources, the air that we breathe. Like, we just take it all for advantage because it's like we're used to having clean water. Well, that's not the case for a lot of people. And it takes farmers like you, even just the farm that you have, to be able to contribute to our air quality in Durham, and it contributes to our water quality in Durham too.
That's true. That's true.
So important.
Everything is tied in together. And I think the more we realize that everything's connected and nothing's separate, the better people can come together to work.
Yeah.
Durham has this rich history of thriving African American communities. And I know a lot of people point to Black Wall Street.
Right.
But if you think about Rosenwald schools, Durham County had a number of Rosenwald schools that taught African American kids vocational education. So it's just finding out things like that. And then they're building the Rosenwald, some of those structures are still standing in Durham. So just touching on that history and letting people know that, hey, this is a part of Durham's history.
So we have grants through USDA that are very specific to Black and brown farmers, women, and brand new farmers. We have a lot of people that are just now getting into it. Maybe they don't have all this land. And so we do want to be able to support those farmers who are brand new to this, who say to themselves, what if they do beekeeping? And they need help to do that. So that is definitely something that we're trying to prioritize in Durham.
And I think that's a great angle and a great initiative, because we've been, like, African Americans have literally been pushed out of agriculture. So now that the interest exists again and it's always existed, but there are resources available to bring African Americans back into the field, I think there needs to be like a heavy conversation and large amounts of funding to get African Americans back to the land.
These ones look a little less active out there. Is that right? Or
so these colonies here are younger. So these colonies that you all see here, these were ones that all overwintered, and they're more established colonies. The colonies that you have here are smaller, and they are either they're all swarms. So their population is a whole lot smaller than all the colonies you see here. You need thousands of plants to support one beehive. So we tried planting sunflower. This year it didn't work out well at all. So we're gonna use a different cover crop. We'll probably do some millet later in the year. 1 acre of sunflowers wouldn't support all the colonies. So we'll just do our part in welcoming and creating a habitat for the bees, but also other pollinators as well.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about like the importance of bees? I feel like in the past maybe like 5 to 10 years, there's been this sort of national outcry about save the bees, how important they are. Like, what does that really mean? Why are they important?
I was talking to an entomologist at NC State earlier in the year. He kind of broke it down for me what actually happened. At a point, they were cataloging pollinators' populations. I believe it's in the 1970s. Don't quote me on the exact date. But then they stopped for around 30 years, and they started again. And they saw that the numbers from when they were cataloging populations earlier didn't quite match up. I'm not going to go into the math part of it, but he was saying that created the outcry with the honeybees. And I think people specifically focus on honeybees because we get honey from them, but there's so many other pollinators that benefit from the environment you create to support honeybees.
People want to get more information, if people want to get connected, if people want to do this the experience, to come out in the bee suit, how can they get information about you?
So you can go on Airbnb and put in Bees in the Trap, BEESINTRAP, to come out for Airbnb, and on all social media platforms you can follow us at Sankofa Farms. So SANKOFA Farms, FARMS.
On Instagram, Facebook,
Twitter, LinkedIn. You can follow us on all platforms at Sankofa.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much. Once again, I'm Jillian Riley. I'm running for Durham Soil and Water Conservation District. I'm out here with Kamal Bell at Sankofa Farms. So thanks for tuning in.